What happens when AI data centers start being financed like power plants? Welcome to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. I'm Trend Teller, and today is August 21st, 2026. In this episode, the money behind AI gets even bigger. Governments step harder on the semiconductor pedal. Cyber agencies warn about AI-assisted attacks on critical systems, and both Tesla and SpaceX push their next visible milestones. This episode is brought to you by Prezi. Prezi helps you create stunning AI-powered presentations in minutes. Find the link in the episode notes. Let's start with the biggest shift of the day. AI infrastructure is no longer just a technology story. It is increasingly a financing story. In a new development in the Broadcom story we've been following, the company is negotiating with lenders to raise more than $60 billion for a major AI chip deal tied to customers including Anthropic. That is an extraordinary scale, and it shows how far companies are willing to go to secure long-term access to custom silicon. Nvidia is moving in the same direction, but even more visibly. In the latest development there, Nvidia plans to invest $1.5 billion and back a huge amount of lease and power commitments for an OpenAI-linked data center campus in Ohio. It has also added a $6 billion licensing deal with Poolside. Put together, Nvidia is not just selling chips anymore. It is helping turn compute, power, and software into one giant stack that can be funded like infrastructure. Google is also locking in future supply in a very deliberate way. It has secured the right to buy up to $12.2 billion of Marvell stock, tied to continued large orders for custom AI chips through the next several years. The message across all three companies is pretty clear. The race for AI capacity is now shaping balance sheets, not just product roadmaps. That same race is opening doors for smaller hardware players. Groq has raised $350 million to expand its inference cloud. Etched has pulled in $700 million for a rack-scale system built around its own AI chip approach, and Velaura AI has raised $110 million around ultra-low power chip IP. The interesting part here is not just the fundraising itself. It is that investors still see room beyond the dominant GPU model, especially for running AI models more cheaply and with lower energy use. Governments are stepping in too. Japan has allocated another $944 million to Rapidus as it tries to rebuild a serious position in advanced chips. In Washington, a new national security science and technology strategy puts semiconductor research right at the center, from design tools and manufacturing to packaging, photonics, and other next-generation hardware. And in Türkiye, President Erdogan has announced a national program to select 550 doctoral students for training in areas including AI, cybersecurity, and chip technologies. Taken together, this is a reminder that semiconductors are now being treated less like a normal industry and more like strategic infrastructure. That broader point also comes through in fresh reporting on China's AI sector, where the story is less about a single breakout company and more about a deep, organized talent pipeline that has been building for years. For the US and its allies, that means the competition is likely to be sustained, not temporary. On the security front, U.S. agencies including the NSA, CISA, and FBI have issued a joint warning that attackers are using AI-generated scripts in ongoing attacks against Siemens industrial controllers. These are the kinds of devices used in critical infrastructure, so the concern is not just stolen data. It is potential disruption to physical systems. The important point is that AI is making it easier to launch more capable attacks against equipment that is often old, exposed, or badly secured. Meanwhile, legal pressure on major tech and AI firms is rising on multiple fronts. 4 U.S. states have filed lawsuits against Meta over child safety concerns. And music publishers have brought copyright claims against Anthropic and Suno, arguing that copyrighted works were misused in AI training or outputs. Different cases, same trend, regulators and rights holders are becoming more willing to challenge how major platforms and AI systems are built and operated. In autonomous driving, Tesla's robotaxi service in Austin appears to have moved further into fully driverless operation. Independent tracking logged 170 rides over 2 weeks across 54 cars without a human safety monitor inside. That is a notable step, although the picture is still incomplete because the tracking is crowdsourced. It also comes with a caution flag. A recent video appears to show one Tesla robotaxi driving through plastic bollards, raising fresh questions about how well the system handles fixed roadside obstacles. Tesla is also continuing its familiar pattern of ambitious internal messaging. In the latest update from a JP Morgan factory visit, the company said its upcoming FSD V15 is a major leap, that current hardware should be enough for unsupervised driving, and that Cybercab scaling should accelerate from late 2026 into early 2027. It also said Optimus Gen 3 is finalized. Investors have heard versions of these promises before, so the real significance is less the timeline itself, and more the fact that Tesla is still presenting autonomy and robotics as its core growth story. Waymo, for its part, has revealed a custom AI chip for autonomous vehicles. The move gives it tighter control over sensor processing and response times, and it puts Waymo in the same broad camp as Tesla. If self-driving is going to scale, the companies involved increasingly want their own silicon. That makes the autonomy race look more and more like the AI race in general, where control of the hardware stack is becoming a serious advantage. A quick space update before we wrap up. In the story we've been following, Elon Musk says SpaceX may try its first catch of the Starship upper stage with the launch tower's mechanical arms within a few months. He also said the first reflight of a Starship vehicle could happen by the end of 2026 or early 2027. If that upper stage catch works, it would be a major milestone because it would push Starship much closer to full and rapid reusability. And finally, two smaller but revealing signals. Apple is reportedly laying off at least 60 employees tied to vision and VR work, suggesting its spatial computing effort is being narrowed and redirected, possibly more toward AI-powered smart glasses than big headsets. And in Hangzhou, China has deployed humanoid robot traffic police that can guide traffic, spot possible violations, and answer questions, while leaving actual enforcement to human officers. It is a useful snapshot of where public robotics stands today, visible, carefully limited, and still very much supervised. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the tech news for today. Bigger money for AI, bigger stakes in chips, and a clearer view of where autonomy and robotics are heading next. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition. I'm Trent Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow.